In preparation for getting back my oil and just monitoring what the Valvoline Restore and Protect is going to do for my engines, I'm practicing opening up some oil filters today. This oil filter right here comes off my 2010 Buick LaCrosse, and luckily when I took all my oil away to the hazardous waste site last week, I did not take my filters because I forgot them. So that was great. So I have some filters to practice on. I've already opened up this Honda filter here that came off my 2021 CRV. Although that's a new car, 2021, I change oil every 3,000 miles. What I saw in here was quite interesting, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. So, but again, before I cut this open, we're just gonna go inside. I'm gonna jump on Rock Auto. We're just gonna spend a few minutes looking at some of the characteristics of oil filters, because not every oil filter is good enough, depending on your application. So in other words, like, you just can't just sometimes just get any old oil filter. So anyway, let's go jump to that video and we'll be right back. All right, so on websites like Rock Auto, a lot of times you can get a lot of really good information just from the description, because of just the nature of this being a premier auto parts supplier or distributor, and also them just getting a lot of information and knowing a lot, because that's specificity. So we're just going to take a look at a couple of filters, and I just want to show you some different things to look for. Just might, again, like I said, this is all learning for me. So if you got anything that might be useful to this conversation, please put it down below. So I'm still, although I know how to change oil and know about oil filters, but I'm talking about just learning more intricate details is another thing. So I know what I don't know, so I'm trying to learn it now. So there you have that. So all right, let's start right up top here with the cheapest filter. This here is the Protect, and funnily enough, this is actually made by Wix. So now we look at this. The first thing you want to notice that I've learned is looking at the burst pressure. This is 350. You don't see many with this number right here, the 10 to 12 flow rate. I mean, you probably can find that specification somewhere, but I'm just talking about here in Rock Auto. So it's a 21 micron filter. So this could be a filter that's probably good for a high pressure situation, like off-roading, say, you dirty environment, probably. Because again, I've seen a lot of filters that have 30 microns, and the burst pressure is quite high. Also, this says enhanced cellulose. So I plan on doing a video just on filter media and filters later on, but that's after I do enough research. But for now, I'm just trying to get my feet wet into this whole world of getting inside the filter and inside of oil and seeing what's there. So again, if we take this comparison here, and let's go back over here, let's just take a look at let's just step down, because the yellow is economy, the blue here are the standard replacement. Let's just take a look at this Bosch filter. This is a premium oil filter. Let's take a look. First of all, the burst pressure here says that it is 200 psi. I'm assuming psi. Bypass release valve, yes. I think almost all filters are going to have this. I mean, it probably got some specific cases where it do not have a bypass release valve, but I would expect that. This right here just says cellulose paper, not enhanced, and that probably has to do with the fact that that could just be that lingo. Maybe it is enhanced. I'm not entirely for sure. Because the reason why I say that, because if you take a look at this says the micron rating is 20, even though the other one said 21, but still, just saying the gasket material is you look at it here, that's like that orange, that yellow material. They claim that it's nitrile. I've heard a lot of people say when you see this color, it's probably silicone, but again, this may not be the exact same material that we saw inside of the Honda filter as well. So again, it's just just showing you how, again, the only thing I'm pointing out here is not really trying to get into the weeds too much, but just more or less just to say that you're not going to have filters that's going to be created equal. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. You see this PF48E right here, and it's PF48. They both say without top mounted filter bypass, new E core construction. But let's take a look. Let's look at the E first. Now, okay, burst pressure 253, filter media polyester. And if you go down and look at these numbers, you're like, okay, these are numbers. But now watch this. If we go down here and take a look at just the PF48 and open that up, once we start out, we're going to see some of the same stuff: 253.8 burst pressure, polyester, inside diameter. But watch these numbers right here. This is where stuff is going to change. Like, look at the gasket diameter, or the gasket inside diameter. Look at the height, like the height in inches, for example. And watch, when we flip back over to this version, as you see, the height changed a little bit from 62.5 to 62.4, but the height changed significantly. So they probably get maybe more filter media in this unit. So I don't know which would be the best to get, the PF48E or the PF48. It just really depends on the application. They both have a micron rating of 30. Again, probably 20 or 30 is probably okay, probably just for general most people. But again, I just pointed out the 20 micron in the other filter because maybe specific applications you might, that low of micron could make a difference. So you do see some differences, but wait, there's even more. Now, if we go down to the high performance here, you see where it says the AC Delco UPF48R. This here is a redesign that has to do with, now take a look at the burst pressure here, 398. Now you see these AC Delco filters, these gold Ultra Guards, whatever, if I know for GMs, if they remake the filters and make these Ultra Guard filters, you should use these. For this car here, they did not release a TSB based on this filter here upgrade. But again, if you have used this filter and you get these, you should use these Ultra Guards, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. But anyway, we just take a look at the, you don't get a whole lot of information here, but over here it does say 98% efficiency at 25 to 30 microns. Now, again, let's jump to my 2017 Buick LaCrosse. And this is where it gets a little interesting here. Now take a look at this. We're not even going to look at the original AC Delco filter here. Let's just go straight to the UPF63R. This is the Ultra Gold. Take a look at all the information we got here. Spin on, diameter. Does it have the burst pressure here? I'm not sure, but the burst pressure for this should be really high. Probably even just as high as the other one, if not higher. And I'll tell you why. Is because if we take a look on this next page I got open here, there was a TSB. Information on improved replacement spin-on filter UPF63R for high feature V6 engines. From the 2017, 2016 model cars, some of GM all the way up to 2020. And I think they might even updated this again, actually, all the way to 2021, actually. So they actually, actually, I believe, updated this again. So if you have the LGX, LGW, take a look at what it says. Today's engines have very tight tolerances, multiple oil pressure control systems, and high flow lubrication system requirements. These requirements will vary based on specific engine design. So the proper match of oil filter to the engine application is more important than it has ever been in the past. The high feature V6 engines RPO, LGX, and LGW have higher oil pump pressure to accommodate engine cam phasing and high speed bearing requirements. As a result, the oil filter performance was improved to meet this higher oil pressure output. The new UPF63R oil filter has a thicker outer shell to provide higher burst pressure resistance during cold temperature conditions and greater fatigue strength. Failing to use this filter could result in external oil leaks due to gasket blowout or wrench fluke cracks. Anytime an oil filter is changed on one of the above vehicles, it is recommended to use the new and improved
filter. So there you have it in black and white from the people who engineered this car, that you need this filter. So the whole point of this exercise is say, don't just buy any filter, particularly if you're in the cars like I am. Do a little research, maybe even search and see if there's any TSBs, and you just might be surprised what you'll find. So with that said, let's get back out here and get to opening up these oil filters and seeing what we can find.
All right, now we're back here, and so we're gonna go ahead and cut this puppy open here. This is just a basic thing. I'm sure everybody's seen this, but again, I know a lot of people have not seen an oil filter cut open, and today is my first time ever doing this, so this is interesting. You know, I would recommend getting you one of these things so you can check your oil filters out every once in a while, if nothing else. And basically, it just has these two bearings right here and a cutter right here, and you tighten this up to the oil filter, and you kind of you'll spin it and tighten this. You'll see me exactly do that here in a second. So first, and then basically you just get the blade here as tight as you can. You're not super tight, just enough to go ahead and score it a little bit, and just spin it around. And then once you feel like you got enough of that, just go ahead and take this right here and tighten it a little bit more. And once you do that a couple of times, about 3-4 times or so, should be good enough to pop it right open. I feel it already wobbling a little bit. Okay. I don't want it to slip out of my hand because it is kind of slippery. Yeah, it's cutting through it, but I'm going a little slower than, because again, I'm taking my time because of, I may have to wipe my hand off because my hand really is slipping on that. I don't want to drop anything anywhere. Stop for a minute. Take a little intermission. There we go, better grip. There we go. Now, go ahead and continue on. And again, you probably can open this faster than I am. I'm just taking my time doing it because again, this is the first time I've ever done it. So there you have it. All right, so now we're in. So let's take a look at the top part of the filter. One thing that I thought was interesting when I cut open the other filter was that the amount of metal that's right here in this top part, that where it actually connects to the actual, I guess, oil pump housing, if you will, under the car where you screw it in, it's pretty substantial. It's pretty heavy. So I can see why they want to recycle oil filters, because not only is a little bit of oil, even if you empty these things out, a lot of times there still is a lot of oil left in them. In this case right here, it's not that much. It's not really an oil here, but more in the CRV one, it was a lot of oil left in that one. But you can see why they would want to recycle, not only because they could probably squeeze a little oil out of all that filter media, you know, of millions and millions of oil filters. But this is a substantial piece of metal right here for sure. This thing is pretty heavy. It's probably almost the bulk of the weight, or maybe like 35 to 40% of the weight of the oil filter right here. At least feels like it anyway to my hand. All right, so moving on in, we got a little gasket here. I believe these right here may be rubber. Yeah, that probably is rubber. Maybe not silicone, because again, I think most people say that the ones made out of this color here, like this brick color, is usually silicone. I'm trying to get a little light here so you can see that. And this right here is rubber. Again, they definitely got a different elasticity to them for sure, without a doubt. So I want to point that out. All right, so let's go ahead and go in. Now this comes out all in one unit. Now this one here, that's the difference in manufacturing, but I'll show you here in a minute. Now looking down in the bottom here, let me get me a little, I don't know if I can get a little light here without, let's see here. Get me a little light. I wish I didn't bring my headlight with me, but that's okay. I can use this here. You can see down in here. It's pretty clean in here. And again, but see this car here, I change the oil every 3,000 miles though. Actually, less than 3,000 miles, because I change my oil every 3,000 miles or 6 months, and I don't put a lot of miles in this car. So I mean, last time I changed oil, I think only like 13, maybe 1,500 miles on the car. That was because the oil had been in it for like a little over 6 months. And again, that's just my rule. I go by 6 months or a year. So, and again, I don't expect to see nothing here. This is just practice for me to prepare for the open up oil filters because again, that restore and protect is going to likely have a lot of significant deposits located inside of your filter media here. So first of all, let me give this a sniff test. What I will say is this smells way less like gas than this car here. This car has way more oil dilution. This car here has, this is a 2021 CRV that this oil filter here right here came out of. And it has a 1.4 liter turbo Earth Dreams engine. And man, every time I change the oil, especially when we was driving the shorter distances to work, but now we live longer distances. When we only was living like 15 minutes from our job, when you change the oil, if you close your eyes, you would think that somebody set a pan of gas right in front of you. It wouldn't smell like just like raw gas, but it smelled like whatever it was super gassy. And even now, when you change the oil, it still smells like gas. And just smelling this filter right here smells quite very much like gas. But this is very clean, actually. I'm quite surprised, actually. So that means that you know, me changing the oil, I mean, looking at this filter media here is pretty interesting. But I see here they got everything here in one unit. And as you can see, that spring is that is a pretty strong spring compared to that spring there, but gets a different engineering, different engine. And all of this stuff here was more in pieces. This right here comes more as one unit in terms of this piece here. Like this whole piece here was all part of one unit, and the inside looks a bit different. So we'll just do a quick comparison here in a minute, but for right now, let me go ahead and cut this open. Get it this way here, because getting the media off, or actually this companies like Blackstone, they will check your filter. And reason why that's important, because you know, they do stuff for aircraft as well. So now if you're on the ground driving in a car and your car messes up, okay, fine, but you don't want to be 5,000 feet in the air and have a oopsie daisy because you didn't check something. So again, that's one of the advantages of going with somebody like Blackstone, is that they do aircraft as well. So anyway, that comes out as one unit. See, this is all one unit here. This was separate units. Like this here was one unit, and then this bottom piece I'm gonna take that out in a minute. This bottom piece here was separate as well. So this is one solid unit, and it's much heavier, and that feels way more sturdy. I mean, that thing feels super. I mean, just all this metal here, I can see exactly why you should take your you know, stuff to the landfill, because again, if nothing else, the metal is significant in these oil filters here. Aluminum and everything. So let's cut this side here off. I wonder, can I just pull that off? Probably not. I just thought I'd give it a try. All right, so go ahead and cut this off. Now, on the inside of these filters, what I found is that even if you cut this open and you see a little bit of metal flaking on the inside, probably don't be alarmed. It's probably normal. Because I know I saw a little bit of metal flaking inside of the media here. Just like a little bit. It's almost like you almost can't even tell. You question, are you seeing metal or something else? But if you look at the outside of the filter, because the oil comes out, you shouldn't see anything glistening here, but you should see it on the inside here, on this part here, which is where when we check for the Restore and Protect, when I put this car here on it, which is a 2010 Buick LaCrosse, I already have my 2006 Colorado on it. We're gonna do some filter comparisons and things like that. So, all right. Again, that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I don't know why I've not done this before, but I'm not going to count the pleats on this. You can look, pause. You can, I'll hold it up if you want to pause the video and count the pleats. Let's see, can you get that? Yeah, you can count the pleats now if you want to pause the video. I counted the pleats in the other one. I think it was 84 in the Honda. So I'm not going to count it because it's not that, you know, I'm not like comparing like this filter, say, to a CarQuest filter for my same car, to seeing which filter is the best. So I'm not gonna count them. So, but either way, that looks pretty clean. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's pretty clean. I mean, you can almost see if you squeeze the media good. I mean, and you can squeeze out something. You almost can see the color of the media. So that means that nothing much is going on here. And again, you wouldn't expect to see nothing on this side, because this is the outside, because the oil is flowing through this side here. And again, I know a lot of people probably have seen this, but again, this is so interesting to me. And not only that, maybe somebody might run across my channel, never seen this before. So, and there's one little tag right here, not tag, but a place where they join it together. I'm gonna just cut it right here because, so now this is the inside here. So let's see if we see anything on the inside. First of all, let me see. It's hard to see, but I think you can see if I kind of, I felt like I saw something. See, that's what I'm saying. You may see some things that you might say, and not only that, my light just probably ain't bright enough here. But I don't really see anything. But on my Honda CRV, I did, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'll try to, hopefully I can show it to you. Yeah, see, I see a little bit like right, if you turn it at an angle, like right here in between these couple of pleats here. It's really, but like I said, it's just so subtle. But the funny thing is that if you turn it over, you won't really, oh, yes, I do. Actually, I see something right here. But again, like I said, I'm not sure if that's a piece of metal or not. But either way, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that if you open your filter up and just see a little bit of like stuff, it's probably within tolerance because again, you're going to have some wear metals. You know, for example, and that's one of the things that the oil analysis is going to tell us of when you use your oil, how good is it protecting your engine. So that's all. That was the whole point of me looking at that and just trying to show you that. So now let's just set this to the side for a second. And we're just going to, we've already compared these two pieces. Again, it's not like a direct comparison. It's just showing you just for your own knowledge, just those two pieces there. We've already seen that. Again, this is just a bigger oil filter, but these are some substantial pieces of metal here. I mean, that's not aluminum, I don't think. It's pretty substantial, actually. Take this out. Now, as we can see, this right here came as a separate piece. Let me take this media out, first of all, so I can kind of give you that whole comparison there. So anyway, and I'm gonna still take these to the recycling center, these open filters, and put them in the recycling. So just so anybody knows. So as we can see, this came as two pieces here from the Honda filter, but this is just one unit here. It's just a difference in design, but looking at I guess the methodology of the spiral slits on this versus just direct holes. And this, you know, probably has a line in the diameter here. Again, this engine is right here is more than twice the size of this engine here. This is a 3.6 liter. This is a 1.4 liter. So that's like 2.5 times, roughly speaking, in terms of combustion chamber size. All right, so, but this is the good thing I want to show you here. Let me wipe my hands off here a little bit. Now you notice this, even though this car didn't have that many miles on it here. Let me open my light up here. I like to keep my tools kind of clean as I can. So open this up again. If you look down, and that's pretty clean, okay? You see, it's pretty clean. But again, that was low mileage, but still. This right here is the notorious LLT 3.6 GM high feature engine that everybody kind of trashes, but actually, in my view, is a very good engine. But now let's take a look at this. This is coming out of the Honda CRV here. And you see that, like, it looks like, I don't know how well you can, let me see if I can get this light right in front of it. I don't know how well you can see it up top, but like, see how differential that black soot is from the actual color. Now watch this. Now you don't see this, but I'm gonna put the light down for a second. I wish I'd have brought my headlight, but what I'm gonna try to do here is this. See if I could set this light up some kind of way here. I don't know if I can to make this make sense. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take my finger and I'm gonna scrape right down in here just a few times. I wish you could have got that on camera there. And you see how that just leaves a layer, like a cut right in the oil, because I'm thinking that is some type of just soot debris. I don't think it's metal debris. So this engine, I'm not, it's just a different paradigm. It's a smaller engine, but I honestly, if I knew better at the time, I probably would not have bought that car based on the engine because of the 1.4 liter turbo, the oil dilution, and I don't know. I you know, maybe I'll keep it for a few years because I'm gonna take really good care of it. But I'll trade it in. I mean, I only got like 20-some thousand miles on it right now, so I'll probably keep it till I get about 40 to 50,000 miles, and I'll probably trade it. All right, so now let's take a look at the media here. It may be. Let me see. I got to get this light here. If I can make this a little, because again, I need to stretch this media out here. I wish I could just stand this light up. Oh, I can actually on this. Maybe that might help. I don't know how well, because I need to get it right in front of the camera here, but you can see some little, I'm gonna try to go slow as I can, just go back and forth like this, and maybe you may see it. Let's go like this. Some little glistenings in here. And again, I'm not saying it's necessarily metal because it just could be the type of media, and sometimes it just could present itself to look, but some stuff, you know, but the funny thing is that, and if you keep going, you'll kind of see it, but if you flip it over to the other side, you really don't see any of that glistening at all. So that's what's making me think it's probably real. And again, I'm not saying it's necessarily anything bad. I think it's just something probably with intolerance. But again, that's kind of the whole point of this, is just taking a look at how well your oil and your oil filter can protect. And once you do a comparison, and that's what we're trying to do with Restore and Protect. And one last thing I will show you guys before I close this video, I have to actually go, I meant to grab it before I came, is that Valvoline actually came out with this oil right here several years ago, and they discontinued it. Let me climb up here and get it. And I still have a 5-liter jug of it. And this called the, it's called the Valvoline Modern Engine. Now, this right here is Dexos approved, but the point I want to make with this is that if you want to use that Restore and Protect, I recommend right now going to buy you 5 or 6 of these 5-quart jugs. So in case if they discontinue it, you'll have enough to go through a full 4 or 5 oil changes to clean your engine out, and then you can switch back to some other synthetic oil, and then just change it every 3,000 miles with a clean engine. Because this was very good oil. I was pleasantly surprised with how my car ran on this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it. I might just hold on to it for a while, but it was discontinued, and it really wasn't out for a very long time. So again, take heed, and if you are into Restore and Protect, go ahead and buy you 4 or 5 big jugs right now, and you probably won't regret it.